friends, Morpheus in the house, again showing you how to trade binaries, how to make sure that you're actually doing this according to logic, math, statistics, and the results are progressive day in and day out. If you take a look at the channel, if you take a look at previous videos, or rather not videos, previous streams, you will see that we, in the past 2 months period, we had only a slight dip only one time, right? So we always leave room for an off day, and we always understand that it is a possibility that today is going to be that day. That's why we're not throwing big money around carelessly, but giving you kind of like a little bit of the red pill, the truth, how the system works, how to govern, how to kind of play within the rules, within within the instruments that are available to you to continue to make money. I've shown you many times that you don't need ideal statistic, you don't need to be in profit every single day to be making money at the end of the month. That is better than any other traditional investing that you could possibly think of. Today, since we don't really, let's actually go right to the platform. Pocket Option, wonderful platform, gives great flexibility with regards to expirations periods, with regards to free tournament participations on a daily basis, with regards to a demo account that you can top up yourself. And the fact is that they pay out your cash. Anytime you ask for money, they pay out, which is always a really good thing. Anyway, so let's take a look today, because, when we usually, you can take a look at the previous videos, we don't really throw big money around unless there is a macro statistics. And tomorrow, we're finally waiting for it. Finally, tomorrow is going to be the day at GMT plus 3 time. There it is. I got mine set. We're going to see at 10:15 a.m. Euro moving because of the French flash manufacturing PMI and services PMI. 15 minutes later, we're going to take advantage of the German same manufacturing services PMI. At 11:30, where I'm going to be signing off, there's going to be British manufacturing services PMI, leaving you guys with the ability to take advantage of at 4:45, the American, the biggest economy out there, with American manufacturing services PMI. There's also like it's considered a high impact event, but this is a weekly statistic, so be careful. This might not really move the market with a gusto, with a move that would be like something stratospherical. With regards to the PMIs, maybe 10-15 pips. If if a regular candle is like 1-2 pips, 15 candle is gonna look like Burj Khalifa. It's gonna be, pretty big, noticeable. So after a spike, you can see that throughout this, like as soon as we started making videos with macros, we have 100% success rate in money making with the macros, with the fundamental analysis, what we see here. So kind of important thing to keep in mind, the different percentages of or different probability of success depending on what kind of analysis you're doing. This is fundamental analysis. We've talked about this, and we're going to continue to talk about this. Versus when we look at a chart, we see, hey, there's support, there's resistance. I think that there's going to be this or that happening. And today, well, there's a little bit different because this is like driver's ed, right? You learn the rules, but not everybody follows the rules. So if we take a look at our usual indicators that we've kind of come to know, there we go, we got Ichimoku cloud that, for example, right here, right? We got Fractal saying on this so the flash. All right, so Fractal said that on this candle that, hey, it's about to go down. All right, we have with the momentum indicator, which we're going to be discussing today. But what do we usually have? We have, we have MACD. We got SHAF. I don't know, what else do we usually have on the bottom? ADX, ATR, perhaps, right? So it kind of squishes the chart a little bit. Maybe we can get rid of ATR because at this point it was somewhere in the middle, right? So the candle size was actually pretty, expected to be pretty decent. But look, across the board, we had a selling selling signal, right? I mean, look, as I mentioned, right? So here on this candle, my early signal fractal, that's why I love this. And it went into the cloud, right? Yesterday we talked about Ichimoku cloud. It went into the cloud and came out at the other end, another confirming signal right here. MACD crossed the signal line as well as the zero line. We got parabolic that switched to the top. All of these things are sell signals. Shaft on this candle right here, right, a little bit before. So we had first fractal, then we had shaft, then we had parabolic, then we had MACD at the same time, and notice that we have ADX, which is actually let's alter it a little bit once again so that we understand that this should be green. This is red in attribution to bullish and bearish, and I usually kind of turn this maybe white or, I don't know, turquoise. Today we'll do white, and we can actually make it a little bit thicker. There we go. So, and ADX line, as you can see, started going upwards, kind of steadily, and, with each minute it, was rising and rising. So we understood that we had enough kind of like oomph, the inertia, to continue to go upwards with this, with the negative DI, which means red candles. And this is like, as good as it takes. This was like ride the lightning, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8 candles that, you could have made money on. Here you would have lost if you, but on this one already we had the fractal and other signals that maybe it's no longer going to be continuing. So today, now here's the thing. I did mention that in plenty of times when somebody asks us, "Hey Morpheus, what's the best indicator?" The thing is that there's no best indicators. There's no bad indicators. What is an indicator? It's a mathematical algorithm that shows you what the asset is doing now, according to the quotes that are coming in, right? The ask and bid prices versus what it did in the nearest past. All right. So when we take, for example, a 1 minute candle, right, and we take a look at the period. So it is comparing this particular indicator, momentum, is comparing the current, right, fluctuations in the market, the ask and bid prices, against the previous 10 minutes. Right? So it's establishing a particular pattern, so to say. And with statistical, or I'm sorry, historical statistical relevance. It says that, hey, in the past, whenever this was doing in comparison to the 10 minutes ago, this is the highly, maybe a higher, likelier outcome, all right, that it's going to be going up. Is it going to go up because of that? No, because market is being pushed by people, right? We, buying and selling, are pushing the asset up or down based on two principles: support and supply and demand. Right, so we're buying, supply becomes less, demand is rising, the value goes up, right? The price goes up. We close the position, it's considered a sell. That's why there's always going to be a retracement, right? So there is a bit of a retracement, after you, start closing positions, right? So pullback. And that's kind of like a, interesting thing. Now, coming back to what I was trying to say, we have indicators that are very similar. Right? For example, I like shaft, right? I like shaft right here. And I said many times that demarker right there, it does the same thing. Right? It shows you the same thing, right? So right here, shaft said, it's time to buy. Actually, we got like a really decent, big candle. We actually had, on this candle, we had a fractal, we had parabolic, we had shaft. But look, demarker said the same thing. It's time to buy. But here, shaft says it's time to sell, right? Maybe a little bit sooner than, maybe on this candle, right? It says, hey, it's time to be thinking about a sell. It closed higher, but then, well, as you can see, it did start to fall down. Demarker did not breach. Demarker said that it's time to sell right here, right? It did breach the top line, and the signal to purchase is when this line touches the let's say, demarker line touches the range from the outside, right? So it breached, there's your buy signal, right? Didn't quite breach. In this case, though, see, shaft did breach and says sell. That would have been a false signal. Boom. Demarker didn't do that. Demarker said sell here, right there, and well, you can see that there was a bit of a pullback, and Shaft didn't really do that. So they look similar, they function similarly, all right, and but it's up to you really which one is more preferable to you specifically. And so this is not really, once again coming back to the question, which indicator is better. It depends on how you interpret signals with these indicators that, and based on your statistic, whether you're winning or losing, you should be altering and maybe looking at different kind of approaches. Once again, something that you can reach out to me directly in Telegram channel and talk to me about your statistics, your approach. Maybe we can discuss some of the things that would improve this. All right. So chats, by the way, chats are open right now. If maybe you want to ask something live, you can do that. My boy Henry and Donald are in the house as usually. Thanks for being my stout supporters, my guys. Anyway, so today we're looking at momentum, and there's a reason why I mentioned that it looks similar. Some indicators are very similar. To me, MACD and momentum are, kind of kind of similar, right? They also, they both have a zero line, right? MACD, I think, has a period of 12. It considers 12, minutes worth. If we're looking at 1 minute candles, it considers 12 minutes worth of history and pattern building versus, momentum indicator that does, for 10 period. Now, here also, when you go in, you can kind of, play around. You can actually, turn it into a line, right? And it's also going to be, kind of zero line is, somewhere, kind of in the middle. I don't know. I do prefer a histogram, but maybe somebody would prefer it to be in form of a line graph. But when we take a look at, MACD and momentum, very, very little differences. All right, so basically, you and I are kind of testing a particular approach where we trade, where we open, a lot of trades in a short period of time, actually, every single minute, right? So when we establish a support or resistance level, right, we actually have a relatively decent resistance level here. And let's take away Ichimoku. Remember yesterday we talked about that Ichimoku, if it breaks through the cloud, chances are it's going to continue to, give you at least several candles going, in the same direction. Right now, though, look, momentum is building. We got parabolic, we got fractal, and it's testing this resistance level, which I'm actually saying that it's a very good resistance level. We got MACD crossing as well. I would actually say that, yeah, it should continue to go inside, based on some, just on the cumulative signals that we have at the moment, right? So I think that it should be going up. We got a cross. We're at the zero line. Momentum is floundering. That's what momentum is doing right now. It's showing us. But basically, look, if let's take a little, journey into the past. Let's assume that we had, there we go, right there, a resistance level, kind of something like this. It's not exact science, but we got 1 point contact, 2 point contact, and let's say that somewhere here or here was the 3rd point contact. Here on the 4th one, we see the shaft rounded out on this candle right here. We have fractal, we have parabolic, we have crossing of the zero line, and the bars on momentum are increasing. So you're actually, in this case, you are able to ascertain that the trend that, after a breakout strategy, we got confirmation from momentum indicator, just like we do have on MACD as well. The bars are getting bigger and bigger. That means the momentum is strong enough for you to hypothetically think that it's going to continue to go. You and I, we always remember, right? I constantly always tell you during our, live trading sessions that we need to look at previous points of resistance, right? Or some places where, we understand that this particular move upwards with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 relatively big candles is actually quite aggressive when you look at the, performance of the previous previous moves, right? Previous directional, fluctuations. And so after such a big move, we naturally do expect a little bit of a retracement. But again, we see that the bars are rising. We understand parabolic is on the bottom. We can say that after this breakout strategy took effect, that this line is no longer valid as a resistance, and we're looking now at a support level. So we got one, we got two, and kind of on the third one, it did break through already. But that's where we're looking at other indicators to confirm if there's a good time to enter a position. All right, so and after this broke through, we, as I mentioned, are looking now at a resistance level. And there we go. See, we actually had everything here showing that it should be going up, but we are entering this mode where it's going to be going sideways, perhaps. Not really a good situation. So, as usually, what are we going to do? We're going to take a bunch of 92% payouts. Right, there we go. We got even like Ukraine. Wow, look at that. Ukraine versus, USD. There we go. And we're going to start keeping an eye out on this. All right, so Ichimoku Cloud went through it, busted out. That's actually pretty freaking decent. Look at that support level. All right, what are we looking at? Maybe we're going to have several over here. All right, we got something like this, right? One, kind of, right? The wick came almost touching, but then it bounced away. 2, 3, 4. Fantastic situation in this particular currency pair because the trend like this cannot last forever. So the fact is that it establishes new highs, higher highs, there's boom, higher high. This one is almost like level, actually. There we go. But yeah, it keeps, keeps getting higher and higher. And I would say that momentum, see, we got the momentum dropping a little bit. All right, so there were higher bars here. Seems like it's the bars here are dropping, though this is still establishing a higher high. All right, so there's a divergence here. All right, so we're looking at now some red bars over here with MACD. I would actually feel comfortable probably putting an ADX in here as well. And let's again quickly change it. So that we are not confused. There we go. And this one, let's put it just slightly thicker. There we go. All right, see, positive DI is already on the way down. So I would say that, yeah, we're looking if there's going to be a bearish pressure enough here. Parabolic is going to switch to the top. And we should see a few red candles. All right. Shaft is doing kind of like a really weird jerky thing, right? It's usually very smooth. But here it's kind of started to go down where it came back up. Here also started to go, it's, but it's also, leveling off, it seems. Momentum bar is building again. So there's, not a lot of people are in USD CAD on pocket option are following the rules of the road, right? They're speeding a little bit. So let's take a look. Actually, I would say, remember I say that always look at the previous points of resistance. This one was very good. Look, right? So it didn't break through here, didn't break through here, touched but didn't break through here. Now finally it broke through. Where else is it going to go? What is the next level where it could possibly say, that's it, I got no more steam to go up there, right? So it took quite a long time from this point, right, from 9:50 in the morning to get its way with the lower lows, to get its way down to somewhere here, right? And significantly quicker, it went up to this level. So if in the next couple of minutes it goes through, like maybe 6, 7, 10 minutes, it goes to this level right here, or maybe much shorter, we'll understand that it kind of reached the peak that in the past like 6 hours, right? So from 10 o'clock, and we're, almost at 4 o'clock, right? So yeah. So let's keep an eye out. I think that, yeah, momentum is still dropping, right? We got a divergence right here. This still is rising. This is dropping. We got a crossing off the AD, off MACD and ADX as well. So yeah, I would say that it's time to pay the piper, to open positions. All right, there we go. Parabolic switch. Fractal is on top. Shaft said sell. We got the, we're approaching. We got the crossing of the MACD and the zero line. ADX is at 30%, which is pretty strong. That's pretty good. But it seems like, yeah, everything is pointing to the higher likelihood that next couple of candles should be red. Doesn't mean that it will be, that it should be red. Right? It's been going up very aggressively, and half the time it reached the highest point in the past like 4 or 5 hours, and that's why we are able to, kind of with a high degree of confidence say that there should be a red candle, following through. So there we go. We're opening a position for the following minute. And look, actually, if it goes up any further, Parabolic's going to switch, and we're going to wait on the third step martingale. We're going to wait until, again, it shows that there is a downward movement. Right, so we got the crossing. MACD shows we got a momentum, a bullish momentum declining. Right, but it still doesn't mean that there's, definitely 100%, just higher likelihood. And I would say that, yeah, we're reaching that point. It's highly unlikely that it's going to bust through this and continue, but it's possible, right? So this is something that's, that's important to keep in mind. So tomorrow we're going to be trading with some big bucks, but today we're looking at momentum indicator. We're going to give it a little bit more preference, and it seems like, yeah, we might, there we go. See, parabolic switch to the bottom, and I'm going to wait. Actually, see, we did adjust the expiration, and this is where this indicator is actually very helpful. We're looking at volatility that's actually kind of, yeah, it's in the middle. It's not going to be big. But we got so many indicators at the same, at the same time, so that if we remove some of them, we see that the candles are not really that small. This one right here, 33.89, 33.89, and the top of this candle is 33.94. So it's about 5 pips in this green candle right here. So the volatility is actually still decent. Right, we got a nice multiple confirmation support level. Right, it is a confirmed support level. I still say that it should be going down sooner than later, but we might need to wait a little bit. There we go. The MACD is doing the thing where it's kind of like this, right? It's not really going anywhere, but it usually means this is something that it does right before a particular jump. All right, so even if it's going to be doing this for a little bit longer, we're going to be at this for a bit, and keeping an eye out on this. All right, so what do we got here? Same kind of situation, right? We're essentially going to be looking at breakout strategies that are confirmed with a momentum indicator. So we got a 1, 2, 3 point contact. We got a decent support, resistance level. All right, there we go. And let's take a look. I think that we got kind of like a false breakout, but a possible support level as well. Look, right, we can actually say that it's been touching this level for a while, right? So it came back down, boom, almost. There's a bit of a false breakout. We always give it a little bit of a kind of like a little discount, a little leeway. So it's not an exact science. There could be a pip or two difference. But look at momentum. We got this dropping, dropping, dropping. Here it crossed, right, and it starts to grow. Well, let's get momentum drop here, but continues to grow. It's still in the green. So there's, technically should be more green candles than red. We had a relatively decent support level to confirm this, right? Somewhere like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. On the 5th point, it broke down. Look, we had a drop of momentum growth in this. MACD, shaft, parabolic, all saying sell. And we could have kind of ridden the lightning here and taken advantage of this entire move. So right now we got kind of like a pinching factor, right? A pinching effect. Actually, we got like a really good resistance level right here as well, if you can see it, right? There we go. So we do have a pinching factor. So if it's going to bounce away here, it's going to continue to kind of squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. At some point, it has to pop. All right, and that's kind of the important part as well. So coming back, let's take a quick peek at... All right, so it is testing that top period now. We got MACD showing kind of weird thing. We still got a drop in bars overall with momentum. And we still got a incline with the graph itself. What is that? Divergence. Alright, so it does show that there should be a bearish movement very soon according to the technical analysis. Will there be enough people in USD CAD that know about this and start selling? Well, we'll see in a little bit. And yeah, if it's going to start going down, we're looking at something like this being the first level of, interest where it might, find a little bit of difficulties going through. This one should be maybe the second one, somewhere around here, right? Actually, I would say that, around this area, it would have difficulties breaking through. And then once again, yeah, we keep going lower, somewhere here perhaps, or lower, definitely somewhere here. But yeah, there's a lot of room to go through the cloud and continue. So the fact that there's a lot of distance between the cloud and the asset, also makes it kind of hard to gauge if this is going to happen right now or we still need to wait a little bit. So going here, we got parabolic is still on top. We got a bearish momentum, right? It's starting to lose it, right? There it is. We got MACD doing this goofy thing again. So not really sure if I'll be opening positions here. We could take a look at AD. I should just actually, well, I can't hide it, right? Bear with me. There we go. So there we go. There is absolutely no inertia to any move. There's about to be a crossing between the positive and negative DIs, but this is why the bars are kind of small. There is a approaching of the zero line. So I'm thinking that, yeah, there should be a green candle coming up, but it's not going to be as part of a momentum. It's going to be maybe reaching up to here and coming back down, or just, this should be green candle, but it's not going to be continuing. So this is where we need to be cautious about such things. So there is a crossing, I think it's an attempt to cross. Shaft is rounding out. Fractal on this candle said, hey, it should be green. But looking at ADX, this is why when I started with trading, ADX was part of my, all the time. It was, there, because it really does show you, hey, dude, is there any kind of inertia to this movement for it to continue? All right, and what we see is at 12%, we got nothing. So again, I think I would wait another like 5-10 minutes before the pattern of bearish movement, this resistance level, is meeting this support level. I mean, so it's clearly having difficulties to breaking through here. And from everything that we see here, it says that it should be going upwards, right? Shaft is rounding out, right? We got, well, MACD does this goofy thing. All right. So let's, you know what I just read here, Tinder. I don't know why. All right, TND, USD. All right, what do we got here? Also, a third point contact, by the way. All right, we're looking at support and resistance levels. And so we do have something kind of interesting. There it is right here. We got the cloud kind of close. So if it gets in the cloud and breaks on the other side, we're going to be looking at this level as the next level of interest. But yeah, it might, kind of do that thing, retrace a little bit and go upwards. So we have a 3-point contact right here. It would be very healthy for this to go down a little bit further. We got 2 red bars from MACD. It's rounding out the MACD and signal line are rounding out. Momentum is showing decrease. You know what? I would actually say that I think I'm going to load up right now and wait a little bit more. But yeah, from what I see, everything seems to be pretty decent on a conclusion that there should be a downward movement establishment kind of right now, maybe with a little bit more umph. So negative DI is kind of sideways. There's no, really clear direction here, but we're losing momentum, all right, of an upward movement, of the green movement. And, well, let's take a look. So what we're going to see in the next couple of minutes, or at least next couple of seconds. Here we got, okay, we got to buy, we got to buy, we got to buy, we got to buy. Though, as I mentioned, it might be just one candle because ADX is not twitching. What do we got here? We still have a bullish movement. I'm expecting at some point that it's going to cross and it's going to see it's touching this level that we've established as a level of resistance multiple times. It's not breaking through it. All right, Tinder. Let's see what Tinder does, right? TND with USD. Momentum was rising. It seems like it's declining. We got 4 red bars in a row. So I would say this is still subject to, kind of establishment of the second point contact. So this is a free form, so to speak, right? This is not like 1, 2, 3, and it broke through. That's not really a breakout strategy. This is just kind of maybe as a point to establish if it is going to be going down for a while. So far, 1, 2, 3, fantastic, good, supported, well supported level of resistance, and we're looking, so for a while, right, we're looking at from 330, let's say, rounded up from 330, and right now we got 430. So for an hour it's been dropping without being able to break this level, and for past I would say 10 minutes, 12 minutes, it's been rising, right? So there we go. It is looking like mixed signals, if truth be told. Hold on. All right, so let's go back to and this one dropped to 87%. We do need to keep an eye out on this. All right, so we do have a little bit of, all right, 1, 2, 3, a breakout. I'm thinking, should I try to take advantage of it? I do believe that it should be going upwards, but once again, see, ADX started to twitch up, but it's still very low. We got parabolic on the bottom, we got fractal, we got momentum saying that it is, we got right crossing of the MACD, building of bars, but it seems like this one is already dwindling. See, this could be actually a false breakout if this red candle comes back in inside the pattern. All right, so in next, there we go. See, it is. So that's a false breakout. We still need to wait here. Though the probability of a pop on the top side is rising with every single minute, right? The squeeze pattern is being formed. We still got everything showing that it could, momentum again, ADX still dropped. So it's still not ready enough to break out of here. All right, back to Tinder. All right, what do we got here? Momentum is dropping, though with here we got kind of like a sideways movement, not really clear. Again, fractal on this candle says up. The momentum is dropping. ADX still, or MACD still shows that it could be going downwards. Difficult situation to gauge. Here, there we go, parabolic switch to the top. We got momentum, as I keep mentioning, dropping, right? From this point right here, it's dropping. Here, it's still going upwards, though it's curving. It's curving. So I'm finally thinking that it's ready to do a breakout. All right, negative DI is still on the bottom, shows no kind of desire to twitch upwards, but momentum is crossing the 0 line. We had a sell signal here. See, we actually have, if we kind of calculate 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, out of 9 candles, out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 9 candles out of 14 are red. All right, so MACD, kind of gave us that, right, that it should be going downward. It is, it's giving us more, but this is the level where I would consider that there should be, a bit more oomph to the movement, right? So momentum, there we go. We got a relatively decent bar already. So in 2 seconds, we're going to see what else is going to happen? All right, let's take it. Let's take it right now. There we go. We got negative DI crossing the positive DI, though the ADX is kind of dropping. So once again, showing us that we might not. Well, depends, right? Next candles, we should next few candles, we should see what's going on. And we'll take a fourth step martingale, because. Just because, again, waiting with you guys, I keep mentioning this all the time. Live streaming is very difficult because you're kind of forced to take positions. I personally would have waited. I would have made myself another cup of coffee, and I would have turned on some smooth jazz or techno trance. It seems like it is. There we go. It is like you're finding it. So it's in the cloud. Alright, and I think that we should open another cell. Alright, so momentum though shows that it's not really something that is increasing in momentum. That's why we're still seeing this kind of very lazy movement. There's lots of indicators, so it's kind of pinching the graph, making the graph look significantly smaller. But as I mentioned, this right here was 5 pips, right? 5 pip candle, which is relatively decent. If we lose the fourth step martingale, I'm not gonna go to the fifth one because I'm not really confident in USD CAD at the moment. Right, so everything looks like it should be going, downward, but the, ADX keeps dropping. I'm not really feeling that it's going to continue. It might actually be testing the support level. So 1, 2, 3, 4. This could be the 5th time it tests this level and continues to go up. Seems like it's doing that. All right, so, but we also do have a pinching factor, in effect as well. There we go. We still got a buy. From fractal right here. We still got a sell from parabolic. Man, you know what? And I'm kind of you know what? I am gonna do it today. Not something that I usually condone. But let's take a look. All right. So if we started with $2, we got the fourth step, the fifth step. Martingale's from $47. And yeah. See. Let's take a chance. Let's take a chance a little bit here today. Don't really like something taking chances, but once again, our balance allows us for it. All right, here, if I hide Ichimoku a little bit, we actually see maybe a slightly different picture, a support resistance level that's kind of like right here, right? See, false breakout, came up, came up, came up. And we got a also a support resistance level and support level right here, also bouncing this particular asset between each other, between these levels. All right, so not ideal situation. Did we lose this one already? Yep. So there we go. Look, watch 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5. This actually brings us to possibly the second losing day out of these 2 months. Because I'm not sure if, obviously I'm not going to go for the 6-step martingale, even though, see, volatility, and this is actually, where ATR could have shown us. No, volatility is pretty much in the middle somewhere. So these candles, the tiny candles, are not really an indicator of anything. But I think at this point, this is where I would probably say, nope, not this asset for now. Let's wait here. TND also is not really giving us a building of momentum, right? Building bars, kind of like it did here. So it is going sideways. We're getting a sell signal from MACD. We got volatility super low. See, we were expecting very small candles. So am I going to take the position here? Probably not either. Not until I see a bit of liveliness from the ADX. So we're going to wait here as well. CAT JPY. Alright, not bad. See, we got building off momentum. Right here we had a good, sell signal from MACD. We got it crossing the 0 line. We got this kind of keep increasing and going. But as also this is not something that can go on forever, and we can take a look with a higher interval. What was the previous lowest point, right? So in the past, if we look at 15-hour period on the chart, we're looking at this being the next lowest part. I think that maybe somewhere here it could find right around where it is right now. Could find that resistance if it if it breaks through, it could go down to this level right here. All right, so there it is right there. All right, and maybe a little bit higher, somewhere where it was just now with the wick. So everything else keeps saying that it should be going up, though the candles are going to be going, getting smaller and smaller. Yeah, so this is actually also something that it probably would be interested in approximately 15, 5, 10, 15-minute intervals. So let's continue. If we find something, we'll take advantage of it, but right now it seems like we still got nothing of interest. All right, let's go back to 1-minute candles. All right, I would say, there we go. We got kind of like this sideways movement, not really big. No momentum, still at 20%. And volatility is super low. All right, probably the lowest that it's been, so the candles are not going to be big. CAD JPY, still got a negative trend. There we go. All right, so we do have a positive kind of signal. We got positive DI, we got 4 green bars, we got momentum that's still, I would say, in a range that it's still strong enough to go downward, and probably I'll wait for the next candle to open a position, confirming position. Alright, so see, we got parabolic on the bottom saying that it should be going up, but we got 2 red candles. And I would say that we can adjust and click again, or give another resistance level. See, there we go. So it's been going down, not really with big moves. I mean, this is what I don't like. Boom, sideways, boom, sideways, boom, kind of sideways. It keeps touching and, touching this level. It started to increase its momentum, right? But now it's going sideways and testing this. So if we say that, it's kind of like 1, 2, 3, on the 4th one, it's breaking. So, still not really, with volatility being on the low side, candles are not going to be big. And this candle right here, the previous red one, all right, what are we talking about? 139, 180, it's tiny movement, right? It's tiny movement. I don't know. I mean, do we want to buy? Momentum of the negative move is dropping. We got I would say that on the next candle, we should be able to get a clear signal if it's going to be going up. On this candle, fractal says down, parabolic says up. We're losing momentum of a bearish movement. It looks like we got on MACD, we got, green bars, indicating that there is a bullish interest. Though it might be going sideways right now, so I don't know, not really feeling this either. Again, losing bearish momentum. Bunch of green bars, still not crossing. And we got relatively high ADX, 49. Wow, it actually was like really strong, kind of rising here. And then it petered out, right? So the index still shows that it should be, bearish dominant, but no, actually BHD-CNY, I wouldn't even look at it right now. Okay, see, everything's going sideways. We still need to be patient enough to establish, momentum here, non-existent, right? So even though it says that it's growing, it looks like it's just going sideways. So AUD-USD also not something doing for me. All right, here we got a little bit better situation. Remember, no trend can go up forever, or can it go down forever. So we're not going to force the market, but there it is. There seems like a decent support level, 1, 2, 3. So it isn't established. It looks like the bullish momentum is dropping. So in the next, let's go with $5 for the first step martingale. so that maybe we can soften today's blow a little bit. My balance does allow for this. Well, we got to sell from shaft. We gotta, let's take a first early position, right? So I'm gonna adjust my chart in martingale. All right, for the first step to be $5. There we go. 5. Next one is 750. All right, so the following minute. Sell signal here. Should have been a crossing, but it isn't. All right, parabolic is on the top finally. All right, so let's continue with analysis. All right, euro dollar, same thing. We got a resistance level kind of being established right here. Seems like there is a early signal from Fractal saying that it should be going down. Momentum's not is showing that the bearish is dropping, so there could be an upward movement. MACD said buy right here with parabolic. And we got conflicting signals. This says buy, right? We got, actually, no, wait a second. 1, 2, kind of 3. We could have a breakout right now, right? See, there we go. MACD is still, saying that it's, it's going up. It's building in bars. We're kind of trying to see a bullish momentum here. It seems like it might be happening, but ADX is dropping and directional positive DI is not really reacting. We got volatility at an all-time high. So in this case, did we win the previous position? Yes, we did. All right. So I would say that, no, I mean, I wouldn't really buy it. Right here was a decent moment to open few few candles in a row. But at this moment, I think I would want to wait a little bit more. Let's go back to USD BDT. Still got the channel. Boom, 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 boom. All right. I would even venture to say that we got... There we go. So within this channel, there seems like there is a bullish dominance. Though we got bearish momentum increasing right now. We got ADX still at 10%, which means there's no really for this movement. Even if it's going to go down, it's going to probably once again go down and meet this support level before bouncing back. It doesn't have enough inertia. I would actually say, yeah, ADX is kind of like my inertia signal. MACD is doing, crossing back and forth over here. I don't know, if we looked at shaft, here we sold, we would have had a false signal. Here we bought, we would have had a good signal. Here we sold, we would have had in the money. Here we bought in the money. Here we sold in the money. Here we bought, I don't know, 50-50. I don't know, probably in the money, right, at the beginning of the candle, if it, when it touched. So this is also something to keep in mind. Certain indicators will give you an opportunity to open the position during a flat move and still make money. USDT BDT is 83%. We got TND at 87. Not really something that I would want to trade with my low multiplier. I would have to actually have bigger multipliers here. So let's go and take a look at the new highest payouts. All right, so NZD USD, well, not a bad situation here. I think I had some previous analysis done here, but look, we got this downward trend with this upward. All right, so support and resistance. It looks like it should be popping right now. All right, so we got parabolic, we got fractal saying up. We got volatility that's on the low side, so the candles are not going to be big. We got ADX creeping upwards a little bit. And we got Mixed signals. Mixed signals with NZD, USDT. There's nothing really clear here. The only thing that I would say is that it does have this kind of like pinching factor. The longer term drop meets a shorter term rise, and something should be happening right now where maybe there is a spike in volatility. And look, it does keep climbing ADX. So I don't know. Do we want to be buying this? So in 34 seconds. See, I would, but this is a third point contact. We could have a false breakout here. We got one, we got two. Breaking through on the third, it's not really a breakout because this is not a confirmed level of resistance. So it's been touched only twice. So does that mean that you can't open positions? I mean, everything seems like it's pointing up, except that I'm also seeing that it's been going up for a while and ready for a retracement. Right, so again, probably here I would not have opened a position. I'm not going to open a position here. Mad USD, crazy dollar, right? Let's see about the crazy dollar. Actually, we're kind of probably approaching we're going to be approaching our 1 hour mark here. We got a buy signal from Shaft. It's rounding out. We got a parabolic SAR for a buy. We got kind of lackluster movement from MACD, but this is what's going to keep me from believing it's going to go up any further. We got very, very low ADX, and volatility is somewhere in the middle. So it hasn't broken through this level, right? If we take a look in the past, this is the level of interest right about here, I would say. And even if this is going to go up, it might face tough time breaking through this. I mean, look, it hasn't been broken, past like 5 hours worth of data that we're looking at here. It's having hard time breaching it. So is it going to do it now? Perhaps. There we go. We got a climb with the ADX. We got building up momentum. We got crossing. All right, let's give it a shot. Let's give it a try. So for 5, I wish I would have entered a little bit sooner, but it's always better to confirm just a little bit at least. All right, so crazy dollar. Maybe it is ready to give us a momentum because technically from this point upwards, it's been climbing, and from this point upwards, maybe we got something like this. No, still see, it's still kind of like you still have to be a little bit more, I don't know, optimistic. All right, should it go? All right, let's go to 750. All right, momentum is building on the following candle. Let's do it. And see, it was green. I just entered a little bit at the off moment. All right, so momentum is still building. ADX was right on this big candle. This was the signal to buy. And if we entered, just the signal was good, right, with regards to ADX, with regards to momentum building, with regards to shaft. The signal was good. It's just execution was a little bit off. All right, direction DI, positive DI is already peaking, right? It's already retracing. So, yeah, I think today we're going to be in a little bit of a red. And it's okay because tomorrow we're going to kick butt with the macros, with the PMIs. And so in summary, in summary, momentum indicator does show us when bars are increasing, that red bars are increasing in size. After crossing the zero line, chances are you're going to see more red candles than green. Once the momentum seems like it's going the other direction, we're expecting at least a sideways movement like it did right here before going upward. So if you set up support and resistance levels, the asset comes to this and starts to break out, you're looking at the momentum. If the bars are big, red or green, you get a picture of what kind of inertia, right, is with this particular movement. So, my dear friends, tomorrow at 10:05 GMT plus 3 time, you and I are going to start, we're going to, come back in the green with 3 macro statistics within 1 hour and a half. within 90 minutes, and we're going to take advantage with a little bigger investments. And always remember that what happened today, is okay. I'm still going to be in profit at the end of the month. And this is something that I've been proving to you day in and day out. And so I will see you tomorrow. Hit that subscribe button, like the video, leave a comment. Always, and enter in chats. Ask me questions. I'd love for this to be a dialogue instead of a monologue. So